mama got the fearful in stitches. Fully up, yeah, cause we in the trenches. Crypto is my pension, dividends is my mission, and I'm inspired to retire on digits. Get it.
Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, Off the Chain, episode 27. We haven't done one of these in a couple weekends. I've been pretty busy, people, getting things set up with this FX algo, and so I've been working real hard on the weekends lately. So sorry about that, but we're back in order. We're back on track. Speaking of track, we got Trekk with us tonight. We're going to get started here in a second. Make sure you call in if you want to talk. We got a lot to talk about tonight, man. The number is 669-900-6833. And the code, as you can see on the screen, is 169-861-119. We'll start here in about 2 minutes.
Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin.
Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. All that good stuff. Let's get it.
Smoking on that crippy got me clean high. Same pot, heat rock, slingshot. Surfing through the city while them chips rise. Hot boy, do it big time. LMA with my summer bay, we booed up. Cali hit the bay, we fly MIA, we booed up. Sipping on this drink, bitch, I know the way. We juiced up, nigga violate till it's JFK like your roof up. Coin daddy bout them chips, nigga, rap snacks. Face all in a box, nigga, Snapchat. Fucking with the ops to get you clapped that. No cap, nigga, backpack.
Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin,
fuck it.
Litecoin,
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. Let's get this chat box up so I can see you guys talking your mess. I'm still having issues with my chat box for some reason. I don't know what's going on, people, but I can see you here on my other panel, so I guess we'll have to work with that right now, but hope everyone is doing well tonight. I have a very he's come on the Off the Chain episode quite often. This is my guy Trekk out of B-More. He's in New York more than he is in Baltimore, but hey, that's another subject. My man, Trekk, what's going on, brother?
Man, just dealing with this thing called life, pushing through day for day on this whole blockchain crypto thing. And yeah, trying to make things happen, man. Just trying to make these things happen.
I hear that, man. So tonight we primarily going to be talking about Corona, man. This coronavirus is, I've been telling people, bro. And the funny thing is, I actually, I reposted one of the videos I did from last month on the coronavirus. That was the first video I did on it. And I put the links to like the masks and stuff that I bought off Amazon. Mm-hmm. I put that in the link. And then my wife earlier, just before I came down to the studio, she's like, you know, your link to your masks, they're all sold out. I'm like, I don't know. Wow. Sorry. Hope people figure it out.
Wow.
But to be honest with you, I don't even know if masks are going to really save people, especially if you live with a family. You know, it's just so many vectors, you know, so many angles where you can become infected. From your kids coming home, coming home with it, your spouse coming home with it.
Where was I? I was in New York the other day, and
oh, well, you got it. You got the coronavirus, bro.
No,
I'm not even gonna hold you up, bro. You got the coronavirus, man.
So here's the funny thing about like how people are perceiving this thing, or like how you can catch it, or what's going on, or how you can like be safe. I'm sitting in Whole Foods, and have you ever been to a Whole Foods out in wherever? Like I go to the different ones in New York just because I like how they have the whole sitting thing. Like I have a whole thought process on how Whole Foods did their whole marketing and food, like cafe thing or whatever. But the point being is that I'm sitting there texting or whatever, and then I'm listening to these young women behind me talk. Educated women, they all have some kind of like technical related job because they're like going about their woes about their boss or their coworker thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the story gets into this whole thing about how somebody came in from another office in another city or whatever, but because they're related to one of the bigger people at the office, no one really said anything because they were coughing, right? So the young lady is like describing the situation, and she's just like, yeah, and like he's just like coughing like all over the place, and like nobody's really saying anything. And then she goes like, the next day, like I did one cough, and then like all of a sudden, like that person who was connected to the person who was there the day before, they're like, whoa, are you okay? Like, do you need to take something? Do you need a day off? Like, I was like, yo, that's so funny. The other part that I thought was really funny in that particular conversation of people was, what did she say? One of them said it, because I didn't like turn around to look to see who was saying what, but he was like, and you got to be careful out there because you can. They were talking about like the vectors with the whole like droplet thing and it being in the air.
Yeah, it's aerosol. No, it's aerosol now, which is different than droplet.
But the thing she said was, if someone coughs or sneezes and then you walk through where they did, you have to close your eyes and hold your breath for 30 minutes. No, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. And I was just like, wait, where did you hear that at?
That sounds like some Candyman stuff.
Like at a certain point, you're going to have to open your eyes again, and you still have like that mist on your face, right?
Exactly.
And that was my thought process. I was like, wow, like, but this is what people are having conversations about right now on how they can be safe.
So, exactly, man. We're going to, that's been temporarily disabled. That's why I can't do it from there. Let me try to do it this way, because I want to definitely get people's comments and stuff on the screen, on the scene here, but that's what we're talking about tonight, ladies and gents. Coronavirus. We're going to be also talking about Bitcoin. It's not acting as in the way that many people thought it would, Trekk. When it comes to this, this global geopolitical crisis we got going on, it's not acting as a safe haven. We got to talk about that. And also Steven Seagal fined by the SEC.
That whole thing is just stupid.
$300,000, bro. Sad.
I don't even see why that is necessarily even a thing to note within the headlines. I think, which one you want to start with?
Hey, you pick. Go ahead. Let's start with which one you want to start with.
Let's knock out this whole Seagal situation. Like, one, it's just like, okay, I got to pay that. All right, talk to my tax man. Like, talk to my accountant dude. He gonna deal with that. Like, that's what I see that situation as, honestly, where, yes, it's a whole thing of a celebrity was paid to do public endorsement of blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I would really look at like who's his business person? Who's the person who pushed it to him and be like, yo, you need to put your name on this. And obviously, too, the other part being is like, they came with the money. Like at the end of the day, whoever was that connector to put Seagal and them and that ICO group of folks together, like who the connector was. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was him, I would be looking at them like, yo, like don't ever come to me with nothing ever again, because this little ticket thing I got to deal with right now, it's not helping me. And I mean, I don't know what his pockets look like, but I would imagine that this wasn't necessarily a big how to do thing for him. But then again, I'm just making assumptions. I don't know what his pocket looks like, but there was no talk of jail time. There was no talk of let's freeze your assets. Like,
no, not at all. So for you guys that may not be up to speed, and I'll drop a link to this in the description or in the chat room right now. Steven Seagal, you know, the karate guy with the ponytail. Well, yep, he had the kung fu. He got the kung fu move put on him by the SEC this go around, and it was not on Showtime. This is real life here, people. So he was essentially charged $330,000. He was fined by the SEC for Bitcoin to Gin. Is that how you pronounce? Like, I don't understand what.
I didn't understand the name either. I was like, "What is that about?"
It's got two eyes in it, so there, right off the bat, like this sounds like some scammy ass stuff right here. What is going on here?
Again, I would be looking at the person who brought the idea to him. Who was the connector? That's who I'm looking at. Like, why would you have done this? Like, because imagine this, right? Or not imagine it, but this is how it more than likely played out. Was somebody complained. Mm-hmm. They went to the federal about it. They went to the SEC about it. The SEC does their investigation. They track down who's connected. I'm actually surprised that the people who were like the initial party to put this thing together, I'm surprised there's no mention of any of who they are. Because like, what did they get fined? Are they looking at jail time? Or did they just also get like, you know, a monetary slap on the wrist, or like, hey, you got to give all that money back? Like, you don't hear nothing about the investors, and you don't hear anything about the original people. Why do I give two shits about Steven Seagal? Like, it might be just me, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm more so like, let me know who these people are who put that together. So this way, in this coming decade now, when the new rebranding and people start like jumping into other projects, I'm like, oh, that was Mark Walters, and he was connected with BitGen too. Like, nah, don't mess with him. Or like, that's not. You get what I'm going, bro? Like, seeing that connection on like who is the actual people who are behind this and why they not on blast.
Well, I think they are. I mean, I think that they were that. I don't know how much the actual company was fined or how much they, you know, what happened with them. I'm assuming something. If the promoter was, one of the promoters was hit with a $320,000 fine. What's interesting is that he was paid $1 million, right? But he was paid $200 in cash, right? The other $800,000 came from the big to go coin,
whatever their thing was.
Right. So that went to zero. So he got $200,000 and has to pay $350. So he's out $150.
Right. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a slap on the wrist, dog.
Yeah.
Like, yo, talk to my accountant. He gonna work out a payment plan. All right, I'm done. That's it. Oh man, I don't know. Like like I said.
Okay, so what do you? I mean, with this being the case, though, how do you feel? Are you still feeling like they did Reggie wrong in going after him? But they've been going after a lot of people, man.
Bruh. From the get-go, I thought that whole situation was messed up. How they've been sniping at him, and then they've been making him walk back what the original project was from what is that, 2016? So from what he initially started out as, and he kept doing the whole, all right, I got to pivot. I'm not trying to fight the federals. I'm not trying to fight SEC. I'm not. And he kept saying it every time he made an adjustment. I understand. You want to do a business. You want to be able to, what you call it, within, you know, the American jurisdiction, because everyone looks at like the American market as the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah. And then this is what happens. Like, he kept walking back, pivot. and he kept saying it. You know, there's no thing to trying to fight the feds, and it was just like, all right, like let's see where this goes. Like, and lo and behold, at the end of it all, they still come down and clap on you when you was doing compliance from day one. What is like? I don't know. To me, that just speaks volumes. Like, and especially in light of the that joint that Hester Pierce that had she had put out about like doing that 2-3 year safe window period if somebody wanted to do ICO or IPO thing, whatever, and then like the SEC would take no action against you. But when you read the details of it, bro, they basically have everything to put you over in a barrel at the end of the 2-year marker, and then be like, yo, either pay up or lay down. Which one of these things you gonna do? And then it's more costly than just using the Jobs Act to get the money, and then just do your regular filing with Syntef and SEC. Like, that's the other crazy part about it.
All right, look. So we got a whole bunch of people calling in tonight, bro. So we got let's go ahead and start taking these callers. Let's get the first one on. Caller on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood, Trekk, Off the Chain, episode 27. What's good?
Yo.
Hello, caller?
Yo.
This mic is who's my
What's going on?
Is it somebody I'm not seeing?
No, we got Script. Script is in queue. We got 10 Pound as well, but I got one caller that's calling in on the phone, I believe. Are you there?
Yo.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
I can.
Do you have the corona? I mean, you got the coronavirus. I mean, what's going on?
Wait a minute.
We live, man.
I know, but I thought I went video.
Oh.
I should have left that one.
Well, I do see that you're okay. Well, it does. I mean, whatever, bro. Let's talk though. I got you in though.
Okay.
You're plugged in.
All right.
Who's calling?
This script's kinda.
Oh, you on video too?
I guess so. I don't know how that happened.
All right, so let me do this.
Good?
No. Let me do this.
Okay, yeah. Switch over.
Okay, you're in the dark, but okay, we can kind of see you. So
I'll
you
fix
can
it.
disconnect. I'm gonna remove you from the phone one real quick. All right, there we go. All right, Script, what's going on, brother?
Yo.
You got to unmute now, I think. Oh, hold on. Let me do it. Man, we got a live stream coronavirus going on. Let me unmute you. What's going on here? Yeah, okay, there we go.
I'm on?
Yeah, you're on. You're on now.
All right.
So, yeah, talk to us, man. Maybe turn the light on, maybe.
I am.
There we go.
All right. So, but the first question was, what, the Steven Seagal thing?
Yeah.
Which ICO was it?
It was called, it's weird. It's called, let me see where it is. Bit2Go or something like that. Yeah,
okay.
Bitcoin to Gen.
Yeah, that's it.
What the hell? You've heard of that?
No, I saw that news.
Okay. What do you?
Yeah, and it started with the Bitcoin too. That's the worst thing.
Of course, right? Of course.
A Bitcoin ICO.
Right.
Dang.
A Bitcoin ICO, yo. That's crazy. So, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, is you know, the SEC they're making their rounds, man. They're making it known. They're I think proving a point here, right? That's the whole point, is to control the narrative.
Yeah.
You know, get people scared.
Exactly, and they're coming after their money. The thing is I'm with you guys. What kind of advisor that Steven Seagal has that you'd be clearly to stay away from something that you were unsure of, you know, and endorse it is something that, you know, he must have problems in life, you know, if he wants to make some extra money.
Yeah, no, those Showtime checks aren't coming around anymore. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know, man. But
Gotta be.
Yeah, that's a pretty like Trekk said, man. Like you said, Trekk, I think his advisors definitely failed him on that one.
Yo.
Yeah.
You know, so
Somebody getting a karate chop. It just like came out. I didn't even mean to do the pun like that, but it just came out.
Hey.
Like,
easy,
Hey,
bro.
hey.
It's easy with this one. It is
Right?
easy.
If he's real, that's gonna hurt too.
right?
If that stuff's real, man, they are going to get sore in the morning.
Right. So, you know, I don't know if you want to stay on the line when we get to the other subject of the coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it just yet. I want to get 10 Pound on really quickly.
Okay.
And see what he has to say about this situation with Steven Seagal.
All right. Let's do it.
So 10 Pound, what's good, man?
Yo, honestly, I'm just over here chilling.
You got the booty face, man. What you clean cut, man? What's going? What's going on, man? You all the hair gone.
Yo, you roast me every single time I come.
Oh man.
He's coming at me with some bullshit. Look at Trekk. Yo, Trekk, you rocking them sunshades, right? Yo, I came on this school last time rocking Tom Fords, dog.
Hey, yo, your pockets is deeper than mine. I will not try to dispute that.
10 Pound said he's rocking Tom Fords on you, bro.
I say thank you, Uncle Sam, for my prescription shades.
I get you.
What's going on, though, 10 Pound? How are you today, man?
I think that these wanted to get in on the sensational cryptocurrency movement. It's just hard for the course, fam. Like, it is what it is. And Steven Seagal, he know we done fucked up. It comes down to it, like, bro, they got people shooting Hollywood sets with cryptocurrency-based assets now. You know that, right? And they got people literally taking decentralized devices like smartphones, and they're publicizing all these different blockchains and whatnot. And it's big business. And the fact that Steven Seagal was one of the first to actually take and run an ICO in the industry, and that doesn't surprise me at all. Just the way he did it was completely shaped. So yeah, honestly.
So do you think it was you think he's hard on cash? You think his funds low, or you think he was just trying to take advantage of the craze?
He saw the craze. He saw the fact that it was emerging out of like millions to billions. He wanted to capitalize.
Right.
I don't think that he's running low on funds. He's probably got some like hedge fund manager working behind the scenes, taking care of like some stock portfolio for him. He's not like that desperate. No way.
I feel you.
It was a greed roll, for real.
I got you.
I still think whoever his business advisor is fucked up. Like that's an end of the day thing. Because if there's a part in there where it's like, oh, there was no business plan. So it's like, did they give a white paper? Did they give?
Oh yeah, right. There wasn't, bro. You're right.
So again, this goes to whoever the business advisor was. Like, you screwed up, and now it's costing me.
It's crazy because a lot of these projects are actually getting away without having legitimate white papers. They'll have a white paper, but it'll have a bunch of.
No, I would argue that's not how it's playing out now. Like, you gotta actually enough of the money folks got burnt in the 18 into 19. So now it's not just I have the white paper thing. Granted, I do feel like a lot of what is going on now is trying to make it seem like if you have the right person on the team, and granted, yeah, you should have like people who know their area, but it's almost like it's pushing out the ability for like the mom and pops person who has the idea but may not have looked to run a technical company or do something that's like on this level, to then be like, oh no, you can't do it because you never messed with money at this level, or you don't have the degree behind you, or you don't have the business industry connection. Like, that's what I kind of feel is almost being pushed now. When you start looking at like who is in whatever company that's like really popped up, let's say the last year and change, and who's getting name recommendations, or like who's getting the public accolades on stuff. Look at who's like a real like base level, like, oh well, you know, I used to be an office manager, or I used to be, you know, non-tech, non-academic, non-big business related. Like that's a real hard find, bro.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And this is at least how I see it from my point right now. It's a real hard find to see like that particular thing. But I do get to what you're saying about the industry thing and how like the movie industry and stuff, things are changing on that end for sure. And it's weird, not weird like woo-woo shit, but it's also interesting, I guess, to see like if you pay attention to that industry, or like you work in it at least, what you see going on and what you're aware of, and then like those of us who are not on the industry side, or who just like, oh, I saw the TV show or I saw something on YouTube about it, how we understand it is like kind of what is that, detached?
Yeah,
I agree. Absolutely, it is detached from reality. But also, it comes down to the idea of manufacturing consent, what Noam Chomsky gets at. And
what you know about Noam Chomsky?
Bro, I know.
Boy, this boy right here is an educated brother right here. This boy right.
Hey,
this boy right.
I'll tell you, man. Teflon be just popping up with stuff, and you're like,
he
what?
does, man. Never, man. He be on it, man. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So let's quickly move to the next one here, guys. And I still got script on, so I definitely want to get your opinion on this script.
No problem.
Yeah, what do you guys feel about this article here that's stating that Bitcoin is going parabolic, but not to the upside, to the downside? There's my guy, actually, he's supposed to be coming on my show. We follow each other on Twitter, Jacob Canfield. I know many of you in the crypto game know about his analysis and whatnot, but he's saying that we're going to see a move down to 6,400 based on this. He's got a parabola, some type of system or something he works with, some type of strategy, and he's saying that we're going to go lower, not higher. What are your thoughts? Let me get first script on that. What do you think? What do you think about that? And also script is, are you concerned or upset or surprised that Bitcoin hasn't performed in a positive manner since we're starting to see this whole coronavirus thing kind of take hold, and economic markets around the globe crashing and stuff? Yet we're seeing Bitcoin go along with it. So what are your thoughts?
Well, there's two sides to every coin, right? By the way, you guys are doing great here. What was this, a 27th episode?
Yes, sir.
Going strong.
Right.
Yeah, man.
There's two sides to every coin. Go back to when, what was it? Trump bombed some Iranian, right? And gold and Bitcoin went up. Remember that?
Yes.
I've seen so many TA chart specialists on gold and Bitcoin. They were compared to be a safe haven and not the stocks. And the stocks went down. That was kind of one of those revolutionary kind of, oh, okay, I could see that. But I'm seeing like top traders saying what they said would be speculation or a rumor became to be true. But now we're seeing it dump because of a little virus thing. Well, if it's a pandemic, then we're all screwed. But
right.
but there's two sides to every coin. So I guess Bitcoin's good for war, bad for plagues. I don't know what to say.
10 Pound, what's your thoughts?
I like that one.
When it comes down to it, I think that majority of people in China are literally out of work because of this. So,
yeah.
And let's be real here. Majority of the hash rate is based in China.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
This is. And let's say
the network becomes unstable, and a lot of people are like, yo, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to cash out, take my chances outside of the market, move my money into gold or get back into dollars, like that's exactly what could possibly happen at this point.
But you bring up a great point about China. There could be some forced liquidation on their end as well, because they're trying, like you said, they're out of work. People aren't working. So as I've stated before, in a moment of crisis, you're gonna have the price of Bitcoin go lower first, because you're gonna have all the weak hands that are hodling it, but need the money. They may need the money. They're gonna liquidate that for cash, and then you'll see the move up, man. It's gonna go parabolic at that point. Sometime after that.
Oh, I agree.
Being a forced hand.
Go ahead.
I was saying, being a forced hand. That was me in 2018. Like, you got bills to pay. You got things to do. Like,
right.
And you get forced into the situation of off ramping and cashing what you need and paying them bills and dealing with life, and the unexpected stuff happens. I mean, I you know what I wonder though, for and it's all right. For those of us who are in this whole blockchain crypto thing, I'm surprised there aren't more stories coming out, or at least someone's like really looking into what's going on with the mining rigs and like the mining warehouses and stuff like that. Like, I'm really surprised at that on the end of, if we all know X amount of the hashing power is based there, how is it Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, all of the rest of them, considering this is what, more than 3 weeks now, more than a month, right?
It's like a firewall. It's a great firewall, bro. That's what it comes down to. Dude, they were prosecuting journalists and doctors that were warning about this from the get-go, bro. You don't think
but we're not talking about the medical aspect. We talking about,
we're gonna get to that.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, are you keeping the whole staff, or are you keeping the skeletal staff? Like, and then here's another question. How much would this then incur the whole thing of being able to do certain things as automated? Like, if this kind of catastrophe happens, and you have it that you had 100, like, let's say 100 people worked in your warehouse, and your warehouse was like 1 million square feet, right? And that was like a little bit more than your base number that you needed. Your skeleton staff, let's say, is one quarter of that, so 25 people, where you would really have to do some like 12-hour, 16-hour kind of schedule and rotating people through. What does this then do within the industry of mining, the sector of mining in this whole thing? So how do we deal with when we lose X amount of the human resource we need to maintain all of this?
Yeah, it's a serious question, and it's I think serious vulnerability for Bitcoin. And we'll just have to see what happens. But I think this is more so people, especially over in China, I think they're liquidating to get some cash up because they're not working. And I don't know, man. What do you think, Script? What do you not Script, but 10 Pound? Do you think that's the case?
I do believe so too, actually. So when it comes down to it, not only that, in South Korea, Seoul, they are blockchain. They're a blockchain based state. It's actually a safe haven. But when it comes down to it, like, dude, they have absolutely put this on red alert, like this entire situation, this pandemic. In fact, people are kind of wanting to get out so now they can pay for whatever they need to pay for, while they can.
Let's get to this caller here we have on the line. Caller, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Who's calling in?
Man, it's John, man.
Oh, John, Default Hill. What's going on?
I don't agree with your assessment at all. I just think from December 15th it's low, or not the 15th, but the last low until the run up to like the 12th, it was like a 50% move. I just think this is, it went up so fast. I like, people always try to like create a narrative around like the price movement.
Yeah.
I just look at the chart, man. I don't think this affects it negatively or positively. Okay, so China controls most of the hashing rate. Well, all that's going to do is somebody that has the capital to open up a China rig and somewhere else. Like, I just see that as more of an opportunity for somebody in the mining industry to get in their hand in the game.
But does this? But the question is this negatively affecting Bitcoin? No. Could this be? No.
No, I don't think so. Like I said, it moved up 50% in 2 months. Like at some point, it was going to pull back. This is the pullback.
Right, but we're not seeing. But why aren't we seeing flight to safety with Bitcoin right now?
I just think, after a move like that, like there's always a pullback. Like I don't care if it's not I care. It's like it doesn't matter. If Bitcoin goes up 25%, you expect at some point there's going to be a pullback. Like that's just a healthy retrace. Like right now, it's not. I'm not nervous. It's not like that it's going to the 6K. Like I don't see it. I just don't see it in the chart yet. Like I don't see anything that makes me say.
Where do you see Bitcoin's low in this cycle? Where do you see it?
I mean, it's a retrace like 50% right now. Let's see if it hits the golden retrace, and I think that's around like 8,000. Look, let's see what happens then. Let's see what happens around 8,000.
Okay.
It might retrace them a little bit more. It might make a lower high and go down to like 70, 74, 75.
So
if it gets lower than that, then I'll start getting nervous.
So this one analyst says that he thinks that he's with you. He thinks it's going higher, but he was saying that Bitcoin holding the 21-week exponential moving average, which is currently at 87.54 or 87.50. We're currently below 87.50 in Bitcoin. So
like I said,
we kind of broke that 21 moving.
Everybody has their their averages and stuff they use, but I just look like we went up 50%. There's going to be a retrace at some point. It's not going to go, you trade. Like, stuff doesn't go straight up. Like, there was a lot of people I know during the, when it was rising, there were so many people, like, on crypto. We talked about this. We talked about the coronavirus as well. When it was going up, I was telling you the sentiment was people were still in disbelief. And I just think, most people are just, they don't believe in the technology, honestly. They think it's going back to 2K, or they're mad they missed the 3K bottom. Like, technically right now we're in a
3K number during the week. I forgot what I was looking at. Somebody said 3K. This is why I don't pay attention to the price stuff no more, man. Like, it's just like too much stuff to always trying to keep on top of, and like now we're in a position of where like things like this are happening, right? And so you go, are we looking at the technical analysis, or are we looking at the fundamental analysis?
Yeah.
And honestly, like I think that this decade, bro, is gonna bring in a lot of things that we think are supposed to have a certain type of effect because what we saw in the first decade of this thing, and we kind of, crypto is done, blah, blah, blah. When we look at the record and when we look at the charts and when we start quantifying everything, and we got into this this comfort zone of like, this is what it's supposed to do.
So first, real quick, shout out to my man Ace1 for the super chat. I appreciate that. He said McAfee don't have much time. $1 million Bitcoin 2020. Yeah. Well, he kind of reneged on that whole thing, man. So you won't be seeing a pay-per-view dick cutting session with him. So we don't have to worry about that. I saw a chat from Tim G, one of my good supporters of the channel. He said, and this I agree with him with this question or this statement that he's posing. He said, I think the question is why people from the stock market are not running into Bitcoin right now. He's saying as stocks are bleeding, why aren't we seeing an influx of capital from, Wall Street coming into this whole situation? Script, what do you think about that? Or go ahead, John Hill. First, you can go, John.
No, I was just going to say real quick. I mean, every asset went down. Like gold went down, silver went down. People are going to, fight for safety, and that's going into the dollar.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think this is more, and that was going to be my next point was, I think this is terrible for the traditional financial markets. Like, because, I don't know if y'all got into this yet, but, you have China shutting down, their economy basically. And I mean that's what manufactures most of your goods. So I think, and then you have you have all the issues within the the traditional financial market with corporate debt and with the bond market. Like, I think this is terrible for that. I don't think the rush to crypto will be till like, it's clear to everyone like this system is gonna collapse.
Tim Pond, what are your thoughts?
Well, I completely agree with John Hill when he brought up the subject of corporate debt and a lot of this major sell-off slowly capitulating back into purchasing power for the dollar. But I'd like to touch base on the idea of the fear greed index for Bitcoin. Yeah. Right now, majority of the sentiment is fearful. We're at about a 38. So I'd say almost balanced. If we see a major pump, that could actually bring the greed index right back in, and then people would actually want to start flooding back into the index to buy the dip. Who knows what could possibly happen? But also I mentioned the hash rate before, and we were actually seeing a slight dip from all-time highs on the hash rate right now for Bitcoin. So this could actually be the beginning of some capitulation, depending on what warehouses shut down overseas. From this
really for how long though?
Exactly.
Like that's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, Script, what are your thoughts, man?
I think the stock market, they're just in stun mode right now. I mean, where do you put your wealth? I think they're waiting to see where they would put it. If the economy gets any worse, I think they'll put it in metals possibly. But I mean, everything's dropping, man. I mean, I think it's stun mode right now. I think everybody's in stun mode right now.
Man, listen, I have never seen. I mean, we saw Dow Jones drop 3,200 points this week. On Friday, it hit a low of like 1080. It was down 1,085 bucks. And I think at the end of the day, Plunge Protection Team came in there and bidded us up, and we only ended up down like 300 points or something. So we're in unprecedented times, and it's crazy, bro. And what really pisses me off, to be honest with you, is how Donald Trump, our president, is dealing with this situation. He keeps spinning it off like it's a hoax that the Democrats are putting on, or so. I don't understand his position on that. And you guys know I'm a Trump supporter.
Yep.
And I am very upset at how he's dealing with this situation, bro.
He's casting a blame on Democrats. I mean,
that's going too far, bro.
He wants the polls. He's doing his little politic thing. I don't play politics.
Yeah, but this may bite him in the ass. Like, I thought he had this. I thought he had this. Listen, I thought he had this election in the bag.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
No, man.
He probably fucked himself over.
I think he did, bro.
Yeah.
Because this coronavirus is going to be the biggest thing that we've seen in modern history. In my opinion. In my opinion, this is worse than 9/11.
Hold on. Here's why I think that is a very is the word ostentatious, or like, we ain't even finished the first quarter yet. You don't even know what's gonna happen in March or like May. Like, some whole next thing could come and we'd be like, oh, this has been like, you can't call stuff like that until you get
calling it, bro.
I agree.
I agree. Listen, I haven't been doing many videos because I've been, setting up the algos for some of my other clients in the chat room, but also I've been really following this Corona thing, man, and it's this is something. I'm telling you guys, bro. Man, I'm gonna put up really quickly before I get comments from everyone else. My guy out there on, and I got a bombshell for you guys tonight too. I didn't tell you about this, Trekk. I got something that we're gonna talk about that's related to the coronavirus. But I want to just give a shout out to my man, Mexican Charlie Lee. I think he's actually in the room tonight in the chat rooms.
Donald Muhammad.
But he said, look, yo, he's in California. He's in the outskirts of California. This is what he tweeted to me 2 days ago. He's like, yo, blood, I think fear is setting in. I just got back from Costco, and they were completely out of water. There was a line of people waiting on Costco trucks to come in with more water. Here are the pictures, ladies and gents. This is the stockpile of toilet paper. And then he also sent me one with, I think, water. I can't find it at the moment. But, yeah, I mean, it's starting to get real out there, especially in California. What were you gonna say, John Hill?
No, I was gonna say I completely agree with you. We talked about this when it first popped off. You remember I called in and we were looking at the chart and people were laughing in the comments.
Yep.
And we both said like, nah, man, this is something that can take down everything. Yep. And I think I'm still getting that sentiment from most people. And I just think people just don't understand the severity of the situation. And I was telling you then, I was like, you know, usually like when I remember in like early 2000 when bird flu and, you know, SARS and stuff like that, when those things popped off, the reaction, you know, you really didn't get a reaction from governments like that. Like you didn't see like, I mean, we were in a different era. There wasn't social media and stuff like that. But you see you had this outbreak and then the government built a hospital in 10 days. Like, if this was nothing,
they built
why would they go to that extreme?
They built a bunch of those. It wasn't just two.
Oh, okay. It was more.
There was because I forgot what the article was, but there was an article that was talking about how they were setting up the facilities, and it was like multi-level, like clinic size buildings, and it was like they were doing it in like 10 days. It was a ridiculous build time. From the time they started construction to be finished to then start bringing people in.
And you know, and I have to say this, you know, we clown China for being a communist state, right? Mm-hmm. But there are pros and cons to everything. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, for them to be able to lock down the city of Wuhan, which has 13 million people, 18 million people, they locked that city down so quickly. This is something that America cannot do. We will not be able to lock down cities. I think the state of Michigan, my state, I think has like 13 million people. I believe somewhere around there, 15 million. I don't know exactly, but to lock down that many people can only be done when you have complete control over the system. And I always say, don't listen to what they say, look at what they do. And to see China go to such extreme measures, at first they did try to keep things under the hush. I think they're still underreporting numbers, but to see how aggressive they've gotten lets me know more than 2,000 people died in this thing. I'm talking a factor of 10 more. I think over 200,000 people have died from this virus in China.
I've seen videos.
You're never gonna know.
No,
you'll never know. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I've seen videos straight up people like dead laying on the sidewalks.
What happened to the firewall though, 10 pound?
Dude, man, I'm telling you, like, come on. You know that there's a way to get around it with 4. Like, bro.
That's
I know that.
Bro.
But here's the thing.
Bro.
But majority of the data is actually being, like, straight up.
That's my point. That is my exact point. If things like that are getting out, why are there no stories as far as the blockchain crypto space going, talking about what's going on in the mining space? What's going on with the electrical grid? Because you understand what I'm saying? Like, if those things can get out, and I probably seen some of the same videos you watching with how they spraying down places or how they picking people up and the bodies just laying around and stuff. Mm-hmm. If that can get out, why is no other like, all right, here's what's going on with this crypto side thing, but everybody else is talking about, oh, prices affected by this. Why isn't it that we see, capital flight in the crypto?
I'm not going to take credit for this assessment of what's going on in China because I saw it from somewhere else. But they made a profound. This is so true. President Xi is a president for life.
Yep.
So that means he could mess up. It doesn't really, what he does really doesn't matter. He's pretty much in control for life. And to see him take these types of measures lets me know this stuff is real, bro. Like it is. I'm really concerned, man. And I hope you guys are taking this seriously. I hope you're getting some stockpiles. I hope you got some cash. Hopefully, I know it's tough for many out there to have some cash on hand because you may not be working in 2 months. Companies are gonna be forced to lay people off. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I don't know, but what were you gonna say? I think Script, you had something to say.
I tend to go. Part of me says, there's hope. There's always prosperity, but deep down inside, we all know we're waiting for the big biblical proportion. Doom and gloom, birth pains in the earth. The Bible talks about when I read it. There's angry waves, pestilence. Men,
you already got the locust in Africa, bro.
Yeah, the locust.
Said when I read it.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I read it, but I'm talking about there's just things going on. I think it's the book of Hosea where it talks about fishes of the sea will come out and die. Birds from the air will fall from the sky. We've seen that on YouTube. It's real stuff, man. And now the pestilence is coming. It's biblical proportions. I'm with you guys. But measuring it on Bitcoin, I think we should measure it on how serious they're covering this thing up. And I think it'll affect all markets.
But, I'm still very upset with America, man. America is we have such a what is it called? American exceptionalism, like ideology. Like nothing could really harm us, and we can always print more money. And the Federal Reserve is, dude. I'm listening to these people on CNBC on Friday. I'm just shaking my head, man. They don't understand what the hell is going on, bro. Like they think that. Go ahead, John Hill.
They understand, man. But like the thing what people don't understand, I think we talked about this before. You had a guest on, and it's like you gotta look at it like this: the media is not there to inform you; they're there to sell you narratives.
Right.
They're there to sell you narratives. So when you understand that, they're never going to tell you what's really going on. Like it took them like almost 2 months for them to even talk about this. I was seeing clips early from February, and people were yelling at like hosts because they were asking questions. Like, oh no, it's just like the flu. It's not that serious. And it's like they're just trying to spin a narrative. While the reality is we really don't know how lethal this virus is. You don't have any real numbers because China, they control everything.
I'll say this, John Hill. I think what we see, the numbers coming out of South Korea are, I think, the closest to being on par with what is really going on. But yeah, I mean, definitely China is underreporting by a magnitude of at least 10x.
Hey, so can I touch base on something important? The idea of shout out to Kim Bozak, by the way. I was chatting with him in Discord, and he brought up box mining and how he's been talking about box mining. And he actually has on the ground Chinese eyes on the situation. And of course, he's the miner in the cryptocurrency space. So if you got any questions, DM him, check him out. But, yeah. When it comes down to it, though, we really don't know the numbers. And in fact, we don't even understand why these numbers are being suppressed. What sort of political gain can be used for this? And not only that, this is a political year, election year for America. How is this going to affect voter turnout? Are people actually going to want to crowd into these booths and polls to actually vote for the most important election in American history? That's what I want to know.
Bro,
is this the most important election in American history?
I don't know, man. The stakes are high, bro. You hear people, pundits, literally saying the stakes have never been higher for
They
America.
say that every cycle, bro.
Yeah, but there you go again. It's the narrative. That's the narrative spin. My thing is, elections really don't matter for the most part because these candidates are handpicked. It's all to me, it's one big game. I mean, you could make an argument that this time around, because I got money on Sanders, whatever.
Yeah,
I call him sheepdog.
Sheepdog.
I got money on him winning. But I think that's the only difference because
Yang dropped out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Yang is gone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, but
So
John,
I got money on him.
You really think Bernie Sanders is gonna win?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's gonna win too.
The only way he doesn't. I told you this months ago. You know, we talked about this months ago.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Because everything is a narrative. Like once you understand that, we're talking about the coronavirus. People don't have healthcare in this country. A lot of people don't have healthcare in this country. Yeah. So what happens when you're coming down with a cold or something, or you start coughing, and you don't got healthcare? You never go to the doctor.
Did you hear the story of the guy that went to the hospital and requested a corona test, and it came back negative, and they charged him $3,500. This is the country we live in, people. This is supposed to be the land of the free, the wealthiest country, and this and this and that. Yep. And we're charging our citizens $3,500 for because the test came back negative.
Exactly. Now,
makes no sense.
Imagine this, dude. Like literally, people are testing negative, and then one test finally comes back positive because of the incubation period, and then literally people have a debt bill of like, let's say $50,000 or more, and Bernie Sanders is running on a platform where his number one priority is Medicare for all, of course, government sanctioned healthcare. It just makes sense. That's with the kicker, and not only that,
I just listen. I gotta go back again. Everybody know I'm a Trump supporter. But I'm so pissed off at how he's treating this right now, bro. Him and the CDC. Like, it's just not him. It's even more so the CDC. They are downplaying this. Like, I say this. I think Friday or Thursday was the first time I saw the CDC kind of shift their narrative to be a little bit more serious. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Here's the thing.
They escalated.
Yeah, they escalated it.
They did for sure, but here's the thing: the CDC has actually had their budget cut, like a lot under the Trump administration. In fact, up to 80% for this sort of situation. Like Trump actually fired his pandemic support team as well. Yeah. Like, how are we going to actually deal with this situation?
Well, we can, because they're getting ready to get funding. He's getting ready to get funding, but I just think that, man, he's just treating this. I heard one comment, and this is going to actually this is going to segue us into this next subject. It's mind-blowing, people. But I heard Trump say, it's just like something magical. It's going to be here today and then go away. I don't know if y'all heard that. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear him say that?
I heard that. I heard that.
Oh, my God, bro. Like, does he know something we don't, or is this nigga just crazy?
He's crazy. Yo, he also said, oh, don't worry about it. When it gets warm out, it's just all going to go away. Like, it's just winter. Don't worry about it. Like it's snow. It's gonna melt.
It's not, bro. Look at Iran. If you look at Iran, you look at Singapore, it's warmer there. Not Singapore, South Korea. It's warmer there. So we know that that's not the case. We know that the virus probably will survive in warmer climates.
Yep, absolutely.
And what's going on in Iran? The virus is more lethal.
Well,
like it's way more lethal in Iran.
Yeah, but I'll give you my theory on that is this, man. That's culturally. So in Iran, they kiss each other on the cheek. Mm-hmm. They smoke hookahs together. They're very fatalistic society in their thinking from a religious standpoint. They just trust God and all, Allah will take care of all of it. And so I think with that, I think you're seeing it really spread pretty badly. But what about Italy? Italy is not like that, but we're seeing their cases are worse. I think they're growing at a faster pace than anyone else other than China.
You want to hear a woo-woo theory?
Yeah, go ahead.
So woo-woo one that I heard was this as a bioweapon, and it had something to do with like a genetic marker that Italians share in the same line as like Iranians. And then another one I heard.
I heard the one about black people, right?
Yeah, Yo, like, bruh, like, you know what's funny? Like the I don't know if to say irony of it, but like, look at like it's crazy in regards to this era that we're in, right? Where we have gotten so like distrustful and like cautionary, but then at the same time we still have this like lackadaisical, I don't really want to research or know or understand what the thing is that I'm supposed to fear mentality, where we ain't trusting in the official numbers and the story that the government or the authority has given us because of what their track record has been and how they've been lying and, you know, scapegoating on other things. But then at the same time, like, we still like, well, if you close your eyes and hold your breath for 30 seconds, if someone sneezes in front of you, you'll be okay. Like
that's America for you, man. We're so ignorant, bro. I'm really concerned, man. I think already, I'm just gonna put it out there. I think California, I think New York, Wuhan 2.0, man. Like, I think there are thousands and thousands of people already infected. And, you know, I hear people say, I hear Trump, I hear CDC, we're doing a great job so far controlling this. How are you doing a great job controlling something you haven't tested for? You've done 400 and something tests. That makes no sense, bro. It makes no sense, man. Let's get this. We got Crypto Don Juan on with us. Let me see if I can plug him in. What's going on, bro?
Hello?
Crypto Don Juan. I don't know. He can't.
His mic ain't muted, so.
Yeah, mic ain't muted. Yo, can you hear us? He just staring at. I think he got the coronavirus, bro. He just staring at us, dog. What is going on, man? Oh man, it's infecting the internet. That slow. It's infecting the internet. Yeah, man. So this is what I want to show you guys. This is gonna blow y'all mind. I got this from a lady this morning on Facebook. Right? Check this out. I'm putting this on the screen right now. There's a book, and I'm gonna drop the link in the description of this video. But there's a book called The Eyes of Darkness, and I want you guys. I just put the link in the chat room. All right, this book is by Dean Koontz.
Yeah, see, that just says it all right there.
No, listen, bro. This is going to blow your mind. You see how much this book costs, right? $851. It's a fictional book, right? Just a paperback fictional book. They're charging for a used copy $851. Now you may ask, why are they charging this much for this book? Well, let me explain to you why. I'm gonna bring this up next. This book here. Let me just say this first. This book, as you guys can see, was written in I think it was earlier than this. I think it was 1981, but it says 1995 here. The publisher, I don't know where it says the book was actually when it was written, but anyway, I think it was 1981. But dig this, people. This is gonna blow your mind. It says here, in around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived, aka what Donald Trump just said the other day, attacking again 10 years later and then disappearing completely. It then goes on to say, Eyes of Darkness, as you see at the top, I can't see what page this is on, but it says, Li Chen defected to the United States carrying a diskette record of China's most important and dangerous new biological weapons in this decade. They call the stuff Wuhan 400 because it was listen, y'all. Listen, y'all.
He's a mage, yo. He is a mage. This guy is like, like I'm telling you.
Listen, they call the stuff Wuhan 400 because it was developed at their rDNA labs outside of the city of Wuhan, and it was the 400th strand of the made-man microorganism created at the research center. Wuhan 400 is the perfect weapon. It afflicts only human beings. No other living creatures can carry it. And like syphilis, Wuhan 400 cannot survive outside the living human body for longer than a minute, which means it can't permanently contaminate objects or entire places the way the anthrax and other virulent microorganisms can. So you tell me. And it says here it was published in 1981, May 10th. This fictional.
Man,
this fictional book.
I saw that. I saw this like weeks ago, but the thing is that at the end, that's not Wuhan. Like the beginning is, but at the end,
bro.
it says.
I understand that. I understand that it says, go ahead.
But it says at the end. I'm not saying like the first part ain't right because the first part was spot on, almost 100%. But the second part, it said if it leaves the body, then it dies. It can't live outside the body.
And that is the part.
But we know.
Yeah, we know it can live for 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
I heard up to 21 days. I've heard like longer than 9 days. That's what was so crazy. It was like this virus somebody can cough on the surface, and then it could be sitting there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Crypto Don Juan, you there?
I'm here. What's up, y'all?
Okay, bro. What's going on, man? Talk to us.
I was just trying to figure out how to work this Zoom, man.
All good. All good.
Nah, I just wanted to jump on, man, show some love and support, man.
No doubt. What's your thoughts on where are you out of Baltimore or New York?
No, I'm in Boston.
Oh, Boston. I saw the B.
B.
Okay, B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, but I heard you mention the CDC. My aunt actually works for the CDC down in Georgia.
Okay.
And she just put a call out to the whole family on the group chat, like, yep, they just gave us the word, like, and just like you were just saying, everybody get that water and stuff. Everybody sold out up here. Everybody sold out everywhere. Yeah. Yep. She just heard my mother just call me like, yeah, y'all get ready, man.
Did you get any masks? Did you get?
Yeah. Actually, I get those from my job anyway. So
great.
Yeah. So I got boxes of that in the basement.
Nice. You did a five finger discount on them real quick, you know.
You already know.
Hey, that was going on over here too, bro. We was doing some five fingering over here.
Yes, sir. Now it's a breath of fresh air, man. See us having a good educated talk, man. Something jumping out of the market space for a second, man. This is good talk, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, man. Everybody stay safe, bro, and hope your family stays safe up there in Boston. It's just,
Same to y'all.
I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling about this one. I have a bad. And I'm not the type that's real like I don't get scary and I don't worry and do nothing like that. That's not really how I am. But this one, bro, is I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go holler at your president.
Yo, hey,
Crypto
I knew people would listen. I knew people would get on me.
I see him. He got the blue on today and stuff. You know, he's supposed to be crypto blood, and you know now he repping Trump. I don't know. He don't got the Corona. He got the Heineken.
Yo, I knew people would get on my head. Like, see, this is your president. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I call it Ace. I call it. It is what it is. Good. And I'm very disappointed how he's conducting himself when it comes to this virus, man. Him and the rest of pretty much anybody that I've heard on TV, you know, from Capitol Hill, from Washington, they're not taking it seriously, bro. I think it's too late. I think it's too late to take it seriously.
Where's all the talks about finding a cure for this? Like, what's the updates on that? Like, are they working on that?
They're working on the contracts. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Man,
they're working on the contracts.
Yep, that's big
you
money.
You got to test you for like a year
6
before
months,
they even roll out.
Yeah, that's the thing, guys. It's not that they're not working on. They really are. They're really trying to work on this thing fast. It takes like a year and a half, bro.
Once that joint pop out in like another 2 months, and everybody be like, "Oh, wait, what?" Watch. Like, come on.
So?
How often that joint? Think about like for all of the different things that we've had this in the last 10 years. Let's say the last 15.
This is different though, bro, and that's what I'm saying. We can't have that complacency.
No. I'm talking about when it comes to the whole thing of the distribution for a cure. That's what I'm talking about. When it's like, oh yeah, it's spreading this way. Oh, we figured out the vector, and all right, well we know it's gonna be. And next thing you know, like all of a sudden, cures and vaccines just start popping up in certain markets, and that period of like, oh, it takes 6 months to a year to test and then make sure it works, and then we're trying to figure out if there's any kind of what's the word, negative reaction stuff to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's why it's going to take so long, because they have to literally do trial. So they'll do trial testing on animals, on rats, right? Because they're the closest genome sequence to us, whatever. But then they have to do it on actual sick people, and it's going to take time to see how the side effects. Because you don't want to rush something, bring out something that actually kills more people, because that's a possibility.
You don't. All I'm saying is, I don't think the timeline, as we understand it, of how you're supposed to be doing trial periods and a full test verification period is gonna match up the way that we understand it's supposed to. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Traditionally speaking, and there's a few videos on Al Jazeera talking with some people from the HWO, International Tribunal, talking about how the data coming out of China is actually supporting this vaccination process, and the data tools that they're using are actually advancing because of this virus. So, yeah, there's always a positive side to.
Yeah, I don't think this is the end of the world at all. I think a vaccine will come out. I just think that the delay, the window between when we have a vaccine that's going to be efficient and work for people, I think is probably 6 to a year. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because in 6 months, bro, you're gonna have millions of people dead.
Yeah, Bill
that's
Gates.
my thing.
I want to put this in perspective, right? Think of logistics and how just in time is the predominant Western
we're screwed.
System used for our logistics, our storefronts, our farming thing. Just in time is the thing that like damn near everyone is on.
Yep.
And you're talking about a year just to test out whether this thing is gonna like be a good bro.
Just in time from China. Let's be more descriptive there. Just in time. Everything is from China, bro. Even our medicine, the APIs, the active ingredients that are in 80% of the medicine that we use around the globe comes from China.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go get a flat screen, and most of the things are made in China. You go get a flat screen, come back with the corona. That's true.
He ain't lying.
I mean, that's crazy, man. Like think about the shipping, like all that stuff getting shipped over here.
Yeah.
That's the worst. That's the worst kind of thing, because it's invisible.
I'll throw this one out there for you. All right, so anybody know about the Baltic Dry Index?
Yeah, I do.
All right, I know. I figured you'd have to know. But the whole thing being if we're talking about X amount of stuff comes out of China, right? And we say that what you call it, can the virus can survive on a surface for X amount of time, and we pretty much said more than 24 hours at this point. If you look at like how long it takes to get from one port to another port, I don't know what the closest port would be, but wouldn't also the conditions that virus is in probably like make it last a little bit longer? Because if you're in the point is shipping containers, you have controlled climate shipping containers. And so what's to say that somebody didn't cough on something in one of the forgot what the joints are called. There's a specific word for these type of containers that are climate controlled. And it's literally just like you load it on whatever's in, and then you take it off, and then you push it on to the next thing, and you have it sit on a pier. And they keep the power connected to them. And so if how does the cold climate affect this? Has anybody been looking at like what's going on with the shipping containers going from place to place to place? And I only bring this up because I used to work in trucking, and I used to work out of the piers. And I know that if you look at, somebody brought this up, and then when I thought about it, it's like, okay, this is kind of interesting. But you know about the whole one belt, one road thing, right? If you look at how this virus has been spreading, like westward, it's following X amount of that path. So piers and land. So like that, Wuhan. See, I don't know exactly where Wuhan sits, but I know that if you look from where the piers are and then like where the touchdown points are in the major cities, so the South Korea, the Hong Kong, the Italian port, which is like the Mediterranean Sea. If you look at the land routes and looking at like X amount of the countries along that route going towards what is that, like Kurdistan and all of that, like in that direction path. It's just kind of funny how you see the numbers starting to like bubble up. You know.
Okay, so I look, I got
that's a great point. That's a great point.
I gotta go back to the conspiracy theory about black people and the coronavirus. Because
what is that? Hold on, fill me in.
You ain't heard about? Okay, this yo, this is crazy. Look, listen to this, people. So my wife, she has a mentor. She's in a mentor program in her hospital, right? So she's meeting with like C-suite individuals or whatever. And she met with a lady, a black lady, last week. And you know, they started talking about various things or whatever. It was their introductory meeting. But then they got on the topic of coronavirus. And so this lady, she's well educated, has a master's in biology and something else, right? Has to do with the medical field. She says, black people won't be affected by this. And my wife was like, what do you mean? She says something about how the ACE2 receptors in Africans and of people of African descent, something about the ACE2 receptors won't connect the way it does in, let's say, Asians. So we may be able to carry it, right? And may get a little sick, but we won't die from it. And so she told me that when she got home, and I laughed, and I'm saying, okay, well, of course, time will tell. We'll see. You know, we'll definitely see whether or not this is the case. So dig this: we get the first report of the virus in a more black or African descendant country, like not in Egypt. Man, it's going around in Egypt, but that's like more so. What do you call it? Arabs, right? Those are more like Arab people descent. We get the first case in a real black country in Africa, Nigeria, right? So I'm like, there we go. First one in Nigeria. So today I get the news. I'm looking at the news. Guess what? The person in Nigeria was an Italian.
Oh man. I don't like that. I know they ain't trying to say that my Africans went over there and dropped it off in China and tried to.
No, I don't think they're trying to say that, but it's just interesting, bro. I'm like, I'm waiting for it to be proven wrong. Like that's all I'm saying. To hear the first case in Africa in Nigeria is from an Italian white guy, I'm like, not a good thing.
He was trying to flee. He was trying to get out.
Right. Yo, that'd be crazy. So what do y'all think? Look, this is some real talk though. Like for real. How do you think black people will act? I was talking to my best friend earlier about this. We were joking, right? I'm like, I'm like, dude, black people would be going crazy if we didn't get affected by the coronavirus. We would be out looting. Look, yo, we would be like Katrina on steroids, bro. We would be out looting, taking stuff, wilding out.
True.
Ain't that fact? Right? 10 pounds. 10 pounds. Am I right? I know people gonna get mad at me. I'm sorry.
Right.
I just gotta keep
Bro, I'm gonna say this one. Like on the end of how I would look at this, because it's just how some of the shit that I be looking at things now. If this turns out where it's like, okay, people within the African American like genome strain or the African genome strain are really like immune to a degree in regards to the negative effect of death.
Right.
Bruh, like if we don't take this as a sign to like, all right, bet the playing field just kind of leveled out. We need to huddle together and take advantage of this. And I'm not talking on something like, oh, let's go grab a TV. Fuck a TV, dog.
Yeah,
that's our first instinct. We thinking Best Buy. Nigga. Where the nearest Best Buy?
No, like I'm talking like, all right, bet this warehouse about to be empty. We moving in. We're gonna set up a whole new operation.
Oh man,
like I'm just saying,
dog, that would be the wildest
That'd be crazy,
thing, though, bro. Like John Hill, what do you think? Like, what if that was true, bro?
That would be crazy, dog. Like that's a. I don't even know. Like I don't even know how to respond to that. That would be
right.
A scene advantage.
That would be. Listen, if that was true,
let's get my white guy. Let's get my white guy on. Let me see what Script got to say about this one, bro. This is
look. I look at it like this. You know, my feelings ain't hurt. Sometimes I wish I was black. Shoot, man. There's some benefits being black, man. There are. Now listen. I don't care if many races get wiped out. I just want to see at least one of us survive. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's going like that, pandemic like that, I hope someone makes it out alive, and I hope we find a cure. And you know, the human race has got to stick together. But if there's a transfer of power, black power.
My man. So I thought that was pretty interesting, bro. Like seriously, real talk. Like I didn't really like take it seriously until I saw that the one guy in Africa, in Nigeria, was actually an Italian guy. So that's interesting to see, man. We'll see how it pans out, but I think ultimately this whole crisis should and normally does bring people together. So black, white, yellow, whatever. I think it will definitely put our priorities back in check. I think we'll look at things a lot differently because we're definitely on a path, in my opinion, that is not the right one. So
hopefully we drop less bombs for real.
Yeah, definitely.
If that was true, you
don't even have
it's coming out the next day.
Say what now?
I said if that was true, when black people are immune to it, you don't think the antidote is coming out the next day? They're gonna be like, nah, fuck that. Let's get this killed right now.
That's so true. That's so true. Hold on to that for a while. Hold on to it. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I don't think so, Crypto Don Juan. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that nefarious. I just think it'd be. I think it'd just be. The irony of it would just be. It would be hilarious from that standpoint. But I don't think. I think they had one. If anybody had one, it would be China. They be on it, man. You know, and I think they would have definitely put it out there.
I gotta mention something. Blood.
Yep.
Okay, you've seen. I saw when Kobe passed away in that helicopter. I saw a comment when I was watching your episode, and the comment said, "Have you checked out this that cartoon of Kobe in the helicopter?"
I saw that comment, bro.
Dude, did you watch that?
Yes, I did.
Dude, what a shocker, dude. I think the governments are really serial killers, and they're taking like our writers.
I'm gonna give you my theory on everything, bro.
What is that?
And this goes to the point of, you know, the book, the snippet of the book I just read, you guys. I think we live in a simulation, bro.
Yeah.
I think this is all a game, man. It just doesn't make sense. This stuff doesn't make sense, bro.
Yeah, we ain't Grand Theft Auto 5.
I'm seriously. I think we're in the game, bro, because it just doesn't make sense to have an author who wrote a book in 1981 talk about Wuhan 400 as a virus that affects the lungs that spreads from Wuhan.
It's Illuminati, man.
Too much.
It's the people that run the world. It's the people that are really playing us as a game.
Right.
You know what I mean? The narrative's there.
Yeah, maybe.
That those Illuminati people you don't want to mess with. If you trace it back, there's something going on. We say conspiracy theory, but man, that Kobe Bryant video, the Simpsons came out back in the 90s, the late 90s. They had a cartoon about the Chinese had a package and the virus came out. Dude, that was right there in the Simpsons. The Simpsons are actually
what the
credited.
hell is up with the Simpsons, bro? Like,
They
I said, Donald
man.
Trump was gonna be president, and this nigga became president. True. What the hell? Like, we would have never thought Donald Trump would have became president.
That was years later.
Dog, what the hell?
Something going on, man.
Anyway, I said
another reason Bernie ain't gonna win because the Simpsons ain't say it.
Say what?
I said another reason Bernie ain't gonna win because the Simpsons ain't say
Facts.
Hey guys, I gotta go. Love you guys.
All right, man. Love you too, bro. Thanks for
stay relevant.
Absolutely. Thanks for chiming in,
All right.
man. Yep.
All right, late.
So I said in a tweet a couple of days ago that I bet you the Pope has a coronavirus, running around kissing on people on their cheeks and look. And guess what? It looks like he really may have it, bro. What do you think psychologically that's gonna do to people if the Pope really does have the coronavirus?
Oh, people are
it's
not
probably
going
a death sentence for him, man. He's 80-something years old.
Right.
The mortality rate for the coronavirus and people above 80 is like 20%, something crazy.
Oh, dude, church is going to be canceled.
it. The service is done.
No more church for a while. We're going to have the internet church.
Yo.
Just the internet sermons, bro. That's the way it is.
So what do you think, Trekk? What is that? What kind of psychological blow would that be to see the Pope die from the coronavirus?
As I am a heathen and kind of atheistic non-believer in that particular.
Yeah, but for those who do, though.
No. I'm going into for that part of how people have edified him.
This guy, Matthew Cook said the Pope is immortal.
Bruh, I'm done with y'all. I think that if it happened and all right, if it happened, I think the church would hide that that's what he died from. One, because that's just gonna throw everything out of whack with the whole you have 1 million+ global followers praying for you and it didn't help. And then it would throw in the whole thing of wait. So you're the number one dude in this particular sect, and then you caught the disease, and we prayed, and God didn't help you? What did you do wrong? And if you know anything about what's going on with the church and how the money's being moved around and how the property's being moved around and the hush-hush shit that's going on down in Latin America right now, I'm just saying, it would bring up a lot of things that's not religiously related.
Hey man, I'm sure a couple 100,000 people lost their religion when Kobe died. That was just wrong how that happened. I'm sorry. You can't slice and dice that any other. To see him lose his life, not saying his life is any more important than anyone else, right? People die every day, but to see it in the limelight, he loses his life with his daughter. It's just, man, I'm just like. Then we had Nipsey die last year.
Yeah,
I'm just terrible. I
was more disappointed in Nipsey the way he died, bro. Honestly.
Oh, just wrong, bro.
Yep.
I don't know, man. So what are your thoughts, Crypto Don Juan?
He on mute again.
Yep.
1 second. Let me get him off mute. There we go.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yep.
Oh man, and Nipsey tore me up, man. That was just brutal.
Yeah.
That was brutal, man.
What about this Kobe thing, bro?
The Kobe thing is crazy too. I mean, just what we was just saying. I didn't even know nothing about no cartoon or nothing. But when I first heard it, my brother was like, Illuminati. I'm like, nah, hell no. And then now all these other little stories coming out and stuff, man. It's just like you got to be careful what you wish for, like as far as getting that money and what it comes with, man. Like we live in America.
What are your thoughts about the coronavirus and the Pope?
The Pope, nothing.
My man. So on to the next.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just like, God bless him. You know, but,
and Boston
if the Pope got the corona, man, I mean, he's supposed to be. I mean, that's the Pope. If he got the corona, I mean, everybody else around him got it, right?
Yeah.
I guess God wasn't on his side.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to be the Pope.
Oh, low blow by John Hill. Low blow beneath.
I'm just saying, he's supposed to be ordained by God, right? What? He ain't looking up his voice.
He's supposed to be quarantined up.
The irony of it all, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. I think a lot of stuff is being exposed in 2019, 2020, man.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Like Trekk said, a lot of things being exposed.
This decade is going to be crazy, and it's going to be on a bunch of different fronts. Like, at least that's how I'm looking at it. It's going to be on a bunch of different fronts.
Trekk, you was just in New York, right?
Yeah.
So I seen something on the news about 38 people possibly volunteering to be quarantined for the possible coronavirus.
Shit, that's news to me, bro. Because I don't even watch the news when I be there.
Trekk need to quarantine himself because he was coughing and stuff before we started recording. I'm like,
there you go.
Where's my mask? Where's my mask? Put this on.
I guess the black thing ain't right. They ain't true then.
Right.
You said it.
We'll see. We'll see how sick Trekk gets in the next week, and we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Oh man.
Oh man. So yeah, we do have really quickly, guys. We do have the first reported death in the United States from a man in Washington State. This is actually, I think, the first case that we heard about was in Washington State, and he is now dead. And yet again, guess what our president said? This guy said that the guy first he called the guy a woman. So he said that the woman died. She was a fantastic woman. You know how he likes to say that. And then he said he or she died because of prior health complications. So he was basically insinuating that he already had some health issues, which kind of precipitated the death.
That was one of the things that kind of got me with the article when I was reading it. And then for what I hear from like the other side of for the people who died in like China and the other areas or countries, this whole thing of like underlying health conditions, and I was like, okay, so what does that mean? Like, what were the health conditions? Are we saying that they had diabetes and like they was like stage 2 with it, or like were they recovering from cancer and they just happened to be in remission over the last 6 months? Like, what when we say, oh, if you're an elderly person who has blah blah, like tell me the A, B, and C 1, 2, 3 of what medical conditions will put you in that higher category. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I'm not liking about how they're describing this whole, if you have medical conditions, it's just a general phrase. There's no specific for me to be like, okay, I know I need to pay more attention to my situation because I'm more susceptible for having name some other shit like I just said, and if I contract this disease, then
That's a
my
good
chances
point.
of death increase.
Yeah,
That's a good point for when they come up for an antidote too. So like them commercials, like they got a cure for it, but then they got all the little small words at the end.
Mm-hmm. Like, is the cure as good as is the cure gonna be worth for what the side effects are?
Yeah.
So Washington State declares a state of emergency after the first death. CDC says no national spread in the U.S. How can you say something like this? You ain't tested nobody. How can you say there's no national spread in the U.S.? This is the stuff.
Wait, but what about the other article that was on Zero Hedge, where they took the people who was on that cruise ship, because you got to count that now, right? And even though they took them to
the people on the cruise ship actually they brought those people back, right? Some went to where did it go? I forgot, man. I want to say Wyoming. I don't know. Whatever. They went
Nebraska.
Somewhere.
It was
Nebraska, right? Nebraska. And then some went to Texas, I believe, and then some went to California somewhere. Well, in California, one of the cities in California is suing the government. You're suing the government and the CDC because of the lack of transparency that the CDC and the government had when they brought these people in. They didn't let them know what kind of people, what kind of cases they were. They had their medical staff in that city working on them and not telling them what's going on. And so now the new lady that just contracted the virus, she lives in that same city. And she didn't go to China. She had no, so it in that city is now coronavirus spreading around because she just got it. A 17-year-old high school student just got it in that city. So if it's like I told my boy, I said coronavirus is like a roach. You got one, you got 100 of them. Mm-hmm. You see one, there are hundreds of them around. Mm-hmm. You just don't see them. Mm-hmm. So it's getting bad, man. It really is getting bad. And we got Trump saying
they don't care about that lawsuit anyways.
Say that again.
I said they don't care about that lawsuit.
Nah, they don't.
What Trekk say earlier, he's like, that's a little fine. We'll pay that real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And this is the article out of Zero Hedge talking about Trump exposing dishonest media critics, insisting that we're super prepared. That's what he's saying about the coronavirus outbreak. Yeah, man. Any last words, guys? I mean,
I gotta open my mouth and say something
ahead.
Absolutely controversial. Okay, when it comes down to it, Donald Trump put Mike Pence at the head of this thing. He put him at the head of the ship, and Mike Pence.
Why did he do that?
I have no idea, but Mike Pence is a science denier. He doesn't believe in evolution. He thinks that literally, science is irrelevant. Like, how are we supposed to trust a man that is anti-science, anti-climate science, anti-evolution to deal with something on the micro scale, like literally like the millimeter scale? If
so
something
that's like he don't believe he can see it, so it don't exist.
Exactly.
That level.
Exactly. He's like that. Like, I was supposed to believe that this.
Oh, so he's is he like really like a big man? Like, he's really into his faith and everything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a Bible thumper. He's
okay. I didn't know that. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know, guys. I'd say prepare for the worst. When it comes down to it.
Real facts, dog. Like, seriously, I'm concerned, and you guys should be too, because we got and going kind of back to the whole religious thing. To be honest with you, we have to, I have to say this: the reason why South Korea is in the situation they're in is because of a religious group.
How 81%? How they even know that? Like, wait, what?
No, 80% of the South Korean end of days worshipers. So it's a group of I think they're Christians, but they're extremists though. And
say cult.
Yeah, okay, cult, right? And the one lady that came in, she infected like 1,800 people from the congregation.
Yep.
And then that propagated across the country.
Through other churches, exactly.
Through other churches, right.
Yep.
So this lady, Laura Bicker, says that in Daegu, in Daegu, 1,900 church members have been tested for coronavirus. 1,300 of them had symptoms, and 600 did not. Among those 1,300 with symptoms, 87.5 were confirmed with the virus. But out of the 600 without symptoms, 70% were confirmed with the virus. So this is what we're dealing with, people. We're dealing with the virus that will go asymptomatic for up to 30 days, 24 days. You know, you could have it and be spreading it. And that's the problem. When I heard that, that's when I knew it was over. Because we could have hundreds of thousands of people here in the United States spreading it. They don't even feel sick. They feel just fine. I could be spreading it, you know. So
yeah, I could be spreading it too.
Yeah,
not only that,
we don't know.
Speaking of that,
can I?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So speaking of that, this is something that's going to mutate. It's highly mutatable as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
anyway,
true.
You were saying Crypto Dawn?
Yeah. Speaking of that, every state in America has a Chinatown.
Yes.
And you have to realize
every major city.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to realize these people go back and forth home too, and you know they come back down. I don't know if y'all checked in y'all cities, but here in Massachusetts, Chinatown's their revenue's been down 50% ever since the corona. Yeah, but those people go back and forth home too, and like you said, like hundreds of thousands of people. That could just be people going back and forth to China.
It's stuff like we haven't shut down borders from Italy. Italy is the biggest outbreak of it right now, and we're allowing people from Italy to come in and out of our country right now as we speak. It's stuff like that we evidently don't. I don't know, man. I don't know if we got cognitive dissonance, thinking that America can't happen to us. I don't know what the leaders of this country think, but I think it's too late. It doesn't matter. I'm complaining, but it doesn't really matter because I think it's too late.
Crazy.
Comes down to that dollar bill.
Yeah, I guess, man.
They need to put the Italy on blacklist.
They do.
No more flights.
They do. No more Ferraris either.
I'm telling you, bro. Think about that. You sneeze on the car on the steering wheel, it goes inside the. And
hey, speaking of manufacturers, car automakers. On that note, I think what is it? Rolls-Royce is having some issues. They said their orders from China dropped to zero. It just went off a cliff. It just went to zero. And then we had Aston Martin is in financial issues already from this coronavirus. They spent millions of dollars on, I believe, their new Aston Martin truck coming out, and it was really targeted toward the Chinese market, and they're in some hot mess right now. So
Mercedes is also doing that too. Mercedes, not that, excuse me, Trekk, but let's not forget that Ford, the American automaker, actually utilizes majority of their supply chain coming out of China. So
yeah, man. Yeah, supply chains are. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with supply chains.
But that's also why Ford started doing the buyback for their stocks. So, you know, they gonna play the game for as long as they could to make it seem like everything is okay. And like, I forgot who I was listening to. I think Max was talking about this, Max Kaiser, and he was talking about like how everyone's increasing their stock buyback right now. So Apple, Ford, X amount of like the industrial producers, the tech companies, because X amount of their base and stuff comes out of China, and they gotta still keep the shareholders happy. They gotta make the market look like it's not feeling the direct effect of this. Which we'll see how this second quarter play out. Like,
the second quarter will be horrible. Seriously, and that's why we're seeing the stock market. So stock markets are forward pricing mechanisms. So they try to price for the future. That's why the pricing of they're all discounting for the future right now. We dropped 3,200 points this week. I think we're gonna drop I see the Dow Jones being under 20,000 in the next month. I don't
Where we at right now?
26,000, I believe.
Nah,
John Hill, chime in.
I think there's gonna be a suckers rally. I think they're gonna, try to pump it one more time to make it seem everything's okay. And I think there's going to be an outbreak in like a major city. and then it's gonna be game over. I really like I said, we talked about this like over a month ago. I think it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap, man. They're not testing people, and it's just gonna get worse. And I think the people that are like, go ahead.
I was gonna real quick chime in. Matthew Cook said, he said, I have family member in the medical field, and I'm told it's just a flu. Well, Matthew Cook, I'm gonna let you know, bro. Your family member is
being at the clinic don't count.
Ill-informed, bro. This is not just a flu. You have to don't listen to what they say. Look at what they do. China wouldn't have locked down. They are so gun-ho on their economy being better and bigger than the United States. They would not lock down everything over a flu. And
they did it to more than one city, though. They did it to more than one city.
The whole country.
Just about.
All the ports are locked down. This is serious, bro. This is not a flu.
I was so mad when they compared it to the flu.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on now, a flu. I could get a flu shot up the street at CVS. They ain't giving out no corona shots. Corona. The flu.
Do you really want that corona shot though?
I know.
For like how long, bro?
Yo, that's another thing. Will any of you get the corona when they do? Because I think they will get one. Will any of you go and voluntarily get the corona vaccine? Let me know. I want to know this.
You know my situation, bro. You know my situation. So it's gonna be that they're gonna be like, listen, everybody gotta come in for RSP and everybody getting shot. So
you're gonna take the shot in the neck.
You know what's funny, bro? Like that's probably what it.
I don't even get the flu shot.
Things.
My kids don't get the flu shot. Nah, I don't play that.
What about you, 10 Pound? You getting the corona?
Man, I think honestly they're going to try to weaponize it against so many people. They're probably going to put like some sort of like nanobot.
Trying or already doing, bro?
Like, huh?
Trying or already doing?
I don't. Probably already doing. So.
But what happens to the people that don't get the shot if they do come out with a shot? It's just like, with the regular flu shot, the people that don't get the flu shot can, get the flu from the people that get the flu shot. Because they're really just giving you a lower dose of the flu. And your body's supposed to fight it off.
Right.
So if they have a corona flu shot, like the people that don't get it, are they going to get it?
Ooh, good question.
I was going to throw one out there. It's a very I would guess to say small population of folks, at least within the U.S. as far as I'm aware. Chickenpox. Chickenpox is one of those shots as an immune thing that you get like from your little kid on. Mm-hmm. And growing up, like all of my cousins had it, my uncles and aunts have had it as they were kids. I didn't know until I was in the military that I was immune to chickenpox. Never got the shot. And I've been around a bunch of people in my lifetime who've had it at certain points. And I've always heard it's always the worst thing to have when you're an adult. Yeah. But my point within that is there are going to be people who will not get the shot if it does come out that, hey, we have a coronavirus vaccine shot, everyone needs to get it. And those folks, I would argue it doesn't inherently mean that, all right, well, you're going to develop it. That means that it had to like survive somewhere where somebody didn't have the thing and they had to be in contact with them directly or indirectly, right? For it to get all the way back to them. It's like how polio, well, not exactly polio. I'm not going to run down that rabbit hole because I have a whole thought process on that one. But the point being is that if it comes out as all right, we got a vaccine, we need to start putting it on to everybody. Because like, if I don't know anybody who has a kid that's like at least under the age of 5 right now, the number of vaccine shots your kid has to get now in the US compared to like when me and Blood and like probably you too, Crypto Don was little kids, it's like a double, triple number now, right?
Oh yeah.
So imagine you got to add this.
They're doing them in packages. So like when you go get a vaccine nowadays, it's all in one. Like they do like 4 or 5 in one shot.
Bro, but it's like over 20 something shots all together though.
Right.
So
yeah, I think it's like the first 3 years when they're little, We went through it, and they couple shots every time up until they're like 3 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I don't know how this is going to pan out, but again, we'll see if black people are affected by this.
Hey, Trekk. Hey, Trekk. You can't get chicken pox when you're grown, man. You go home and just like tell the wife, yeah, those are chicken pox. Nah. Nah, you lying. She ain't having that.
Those are herpes pox. That's what those are. Yeah, they ain't chicken pox. That's herpes.
Oh, man.
Got the bum bump. Got the bum bump. All right, fellas. I think that's pretty much it. It's been a crazy episode. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Yeah, that's
Blood. When you do this, you do this every Saturday or what?
Yeah, I usually do this every Saturday. I haven't done it the last 2 Saturdays, but normally do it every Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
All right, cool. Count me in. I got another crypto meeting I got to jump into right now. Anyways, y'all stay blessed.
All right, bro. Man. Thanks a lot for tuning in.
All right.
Man, I'm getting out of here.
Okay, John Hill, thanks for calling in. And we'll see everyone. Trekk, why don't you tell everyone how they could contact you, man?
You can find me on LinkedIn. It's literally Trekk with 2 Ks and a dot, like a period. Or on Twitter, it's Smart Trekkin. That's smart and then TREKKEN. It's not ING. I'm also on IG and it's cryptos. What is it? Trekking Cryptos. Yeah, and you find me on there. And then the podcast is Trekking Cryptos to Connect, and that's on Anchor, iTunes, Spotify, and like a bunch of the other ones too. And I'm out and about as always, so my DMs are open, as they say.
All right, cool. Again, I dropped that link to the Amazon book. You got listen. I don't know
who's paying that though.
$850. I don't know who's paying, but I guess it's going to be an artifact, something that you keep to know that this coronavirus, if it's as big as I think it's going to be, was talked about in detail. 30 years ago? I don't know, guys. You guys let me know in the comments
details
below.
30 years ago.
Say that again.
I'm saying the Twin Towers was talked about in details like 30, 35 years ago.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think we live in a simulation, man. You can't make this stuff up, man.
Not at all, bro.
You can't make this stuff up. It's your boy Crypto Blood. We're out of here. Again, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And everyone stay safe out there. I think this is, again, we're gonna have to all come together. Black, white, yellow, red, whatever color you are. So
purple.
Boy Crypto Blood. Purple. Right. And we out of here, people. Holla.
Yeah, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin,
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks! We'll do it live. Okay.